Boker Tov, everybody. This is Dr. Bekermus with the next segment of Health Talk that we're sharing with the Pilzno community and the world at large. We were discussing the word SHINE, S-H-I-N-E, as an acronym for general health, as noted by Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum, a world-renowned medical doctor in America. We were up to H for hormones. We discussed last week about the thyroid gland, which in its hierarchy is a relatively important gland right here in the neck, and it produces the thyroid hormones which affect the metabolism and the energy and the growth of cells, etc., from throughout the whole body. So let's say from here down. It gets its message from the pituitary gland in the brain, and we discussed that the pituitary usually doesn't have much that we can do to tweak it, to influence it one way or the other, but the thyroid gland very much does. A deficiency of iodine, an essential mineral that comes mostly from the ocean, and if the ocean iodine, as the water evaporates and lands in the land, in the farmland around the ocean, so then the soil surrounding the oceans will have iodine in it, and other than that, there's not a great source of iodine, except sea vegetables like seaweed. So in countries like Korea and Japan, where they eat a lot of seaweed, they have a much higher level of iodine and very little disease. So for instance, iodine is protective against breast cancer or cystic mastitis, which is cysts in the breast, or PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome. So iodine is really an important mineral, and I take as a supplement an iodine pill every day in the milligrams, not the micrograms. But here available in Eretz Yisrael, if you go to the health food store, there's something like kelp, K-E-L-P, which is a seaweed in a pill, which can be swallowed or chewed, and it's micrograms unless you take about 6 or 10 a day, which would be about 1 milligram, which I do suggest highly. Other hormones in the body, as we go down the hierarchy, is insulin that's produced from the pancreas. The pancreas is in the lower left quadrant of your abdomen. It's sort of like next to the stomach and the spleen. It has two halves. One produces digestive enzymes and the other half produces insulin. And insulin production is very important. Insulin is the regulator of sugar in the body, and sugar glucose is the energy source of every cell, of every production, of every function in our body. We will discuss insulin more as we go on, but certainly we should note not to be eating any simple sugars. You should never have in your house any soda pop, Coca-Cola, Sprite, or any kind of drink that has an inordinate amount of sugar in it. Simple sugars like regular sugar, candy, cakes, cookies, stuff with sugar is just not allowed in our diet and causes us to have either pre-insulin conditions like pre-diabetes and hypoglycemia or diabetes, and diabetes is now epidemic, especially in America and here in Eretz Yisrael, where not only is it not often called type 1 anymore, but type 2, even in children. So within the child population, there's an epidemic of diabetes caused by the overeating of simple sugars. So we'll continue to discuss the hormone issue of the SHINE, and thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.